My husband's father was the head of the Overseas School of Rome, and he hired Allan Ceen in 1960 to teach at the school. I arrived in Rome in 1965, so my husband and I have respectively known Allan for 60 and 65 years. He has been an absolutely crucial central figure throughout our lives. My life has largely been shaped. Our children's lives have been shaped. Allan has been absolutely crucial to the Pinto identity for more than 60 years.
My dad hired Allan to teach us teach his first art history course. And his dad asked Allan when he could be prepared to teach it, and he said next week. So that began a relationship with Allan and our family as adopted family members. And he took us to places we would never have gone to on vacations and holidays. Our families, when my parents moved back to California, we stayed in touch, we visited, we watched his family develop and grow and expand. He is pivotal in our lives.
I met Allan in 1985 when I went to one of his legendary terrace parties. I was just in the process of becoming an architect, and Allan completely changed my life. We went on a bicycle ride of Rome. He started pointing things out, and he literally put me on the path towards becoming an historian, an urbanist. The very first article I ever published is a big picture of Allan and the archway of this building that I was working on. I owe my career path, my understanding of Rome, my understanding of the buildings that I work on, so much more to Allan, always, and I really miss him.
I met Allan at an Ola conference in 2003. And before that, I knew Allan as a kind of phantom cyclist careening through the city. And so it was finally a great thing to meet him face to face, and we collaborated for over 20 years. Allan had incredible wit about him, which I enjoyed and learned a great deal from him. He wanted to start a bus tour called Pagan Rome. He was trying to get me in on it, but somehow it never coalesced.
And Allan was a frequent guest. Although he wasn't on the faculty, we often invited him for reviews. He would give presentations to our students about the history of Rome. And he was just an invaluable resource. I enjoyed not only myself, but also taking my students to the Studium Urbis. And I consulted his library a number of times and had some wonderful conversations with him over the last decade.
As a teacher, Allan was a natural. He ranged widely in subject matter. The chalk and string of his geometry class gave way to a pair of compasses in graphics and a pointer in art history. Most importantly, he brought enthusiasm and passion to his teaching. No one evincing boredom or lack of interest emerged unscathed. Beyond the physical confines of the school, Allan took the lead in introducing students to Rome and Italy. This took many forms, from the informal, ad hoc Sunday morning walks or outings on bikes to sites in the Campagna, to more formal school trips. These excursions offered Allan the proverbial teaching moment. Why this kind of masonry, he'd ask. What kind of an arch is that? Allan's method, often Socratic, was never pedantic.
Allan is, for me, he's really like the force of both the past and the future. Like, you learn a lot from history and then you learn how to apply it. So I'm an architect and urban designer, and I don't think a single day goes by in which I don't think in a certain way, design in a certain method that didn't come from Allan. So, no, he's everywhere.
I met Allan 11 years ago, teaching at Penn State University in Rome. Allan taught me what it means to learn from the history of cartography in a city like Rome. I spent days, months in his Reforma Urbis, and I think the legacy he left to all of us is simply invaluable. Thank you, Allan.
I don't know where I would be today if it were not for Allan Ceen and an email that he sent in April 2010 asking if I wanted to come be the teaching assistant for the summer course with Anne. So little did I know that would change my life forever. It's brought me to Rome, it's brought me to Italy, it has created these friendships that I've had. So I really truly cannot imagine what my life would have been like otherwise. So I'm thankful to him, I'm thankful to Catherine, to Andrew, to Hannah, to all of you for those summers where I was in Rome and you were my adopted family.
Allan Ceen has been teaching with the Pantheon Institute since its inception in 2009. Before that, he was instrumental in establishing our new course back then for Penn State's Sede de Roma architecture program that I started here. Our partnership with Allan and his Studium Urbis goes back as far as 1990, so we're right at about 35 years. In all this time working with Allan, I've had the pleasure to witness the undeniable influence he has had on all of our students and the positive impact his teaching has had on their learning. He accomplished incredible things. In addition, and on a personal note, Allan, away from the classroom, has been a father figure to so many students and to specific individuals who owe him more than academic gratitude. Allan was essentially a very good person. Kind and instinctively generous with his knowledge, he understood that even scientific insight is a resource best utilized through passionate sharing. Allan was in love. He was in love with the city, he was in love with his students, he was certainly in love with his family, with Catherine, and every day he sort of manifested that. Thank you, Allan. Here and elsewhere, you will never be forgotten. Thank you. Where we go.